I was standing in my kitchen, rinsing a coffee mug, when my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. It was early, too early for anything good. I wiped my hands, answered casually, and said, "Hello, this is David." A shaky voice replied, "Mr. Miller, this is Mark, your daughter's wedding photographer." My stomach tightened. Wedding was barely a week old. Everything had seemed perfect. Mark continued, but his tone shifted from polite to uneasy. "I need to show you something, and I need you to come alone." Right there, I knew something was wrong. Very wrong. I drove to his studio with that cold heaviness in my chest, the kind you get before a bad diagnosis. Mark opened the door like he didn't want the world to hear us. He guided me into a dim room, closed the blinds, and locked the door. "This isn't easy to say," he whispered, "but I think you'll want to see this before anyone else does." He clicked through photos on a big monitor. At first, they looked normal, beautiful even. My daughter, smiling, her husband, beaming, the ceremony, the vows, the first kiss. But then Mark zoomed in on a photo I barely remembered being taken. A candid moment, my daughter whispering to someone, except that someone was not her husband. It was a man I had never seen. A man who had been standing close to her in dozens of photos, touching her waist, holding her hand, whispering into her ear when no one else was looking. Mark clicked faster, photo after photo after photo. Always the same man, always the same intimacy, always hidden, but not hidden enough. Finally, Mark said the words that turned my blood cold. "I think she was seeing him during the wedding." I drove home, replaying everything. The smiles, the toasts, her glowing face, the speeches about everlasting love. Was all of it fake? At home, I sat in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. $87,000 I had spent. Her dream wedding, her perfect ceremony, her happily ever after. Was it all a lie? I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to think Mark misinterpreted the photos. But deep down, a voice I didn't want to hear whispered, "You know your daughter. You know when she's hiding something." I spent the next day studying the photos myself, not just looking, analyzing every detail, every angle, every background reflection, every mirrored surface, every shadow. And then it hit me. The man wasn't just in the photos. He was tracking my daughter, like he knew exactly where she was going next, like they had planned it, hand in hand behind the venue, sneaking glances during the vows, meeting behind a curtain during the reception, standing too close, laughing too intimately, and then a photo I had somehow missed. My daughter holding his hand under the table during dinner. My heart sank so hard I felt it in my stomach. And in that moment, I knew her marriage was a cover, a mask, a performance. But why? I confronted her the next evening. Not aggressively, not angrily, just calmly. She froze the moment she saw the photos printed on the table. Her husband walked in behind her and instantly went pale. Before I could speak, he blurted, "What did he tell you? What did the photographer say?" That panic, that fear, that reaction, it told me everything I needed to know. My daughter rushed to explain, "Dad, it's not what you think. We were stressed. It was a mistake. It meant nothing." But the lies fell apart under their own weight. Their words didn't matter. Their faces did. Guilt, tension, fear. Then I asked the question they didn't expect. Where did the honeymoon money really go? Silence. My daughter looked at her husband. He looked at her. And right then, right in front of me, they both knew they were caught. 2 days later, things escalated. The photographer called me back. He sounded shaken again. "Mr. Miller, I'm so sorry, but I've found something else." I returned to his studio. He handed me a flash drive. "I record ambient audio during receptions for syncing. I wasn't going to listen to it, but after everything you said, I checked. I plugged it into my laptop that night. The first few minutes were normal. Laughter, clinking glasses, music. Then I heard it. My daughter's voice. Whispering. "He'll pay for anything if I pretend to be emotional." My stomach twisted. Then the other man's voice. "And after the wedding, he'll let you move in. Then you get access to the account. Then her. He's old. He wants to feel needed. This is perfect." I paused the audio and felt the room spinning. My daughter, my own daughter, had planned this. Not just the affair, not just the lies, not just the emotional manipulation, but the money. My money, my home, my savings, my retirement. I sat in silence, listening as the final part played. 30 days. We stay sweet until after the honeymoon. Then we push him. 30 days. They had a timeline, a plan, a strategy, a countdown to taking over my life. For the next month, my home turned into a war zone. They were suddenly sweet, polite, helpful, perfect little angels. Fake. Every smile was rehearsed. Every compliment was strategic. Every gesture felt mechanical. All while they waited for the transfer. They didn't know what I knew. They didn't know I had the audio. They didn't know the photographer had my back. So I watched them, documented everything, prepared legally, quietly, silently. And every day my daughter became more impatient. Her tone grew sharper. Her husband became bolder. They whispered in the hallway late at night, checked my mail, checked my desk drawers, asked strange questions about my bank accounts. It all built toward one final moment. The day they tried to demand access. And that was the day I ended it. That morning, the sheriff's car pulled up quietly. 2 officers walked to the door with legal documents in hand. My daughter was still in the hallway, half asleep, when the knock echoed through the house. When she opened the door and saw uniformed officers, she turned to me in shock. "Dad, what did you do?" I handed her the eviction notice. Her husband rushed forward, shouting, "You can't kick us out! We're family!" But the officer calmly replied, "Ma'am, sir, you have 30 minutes to gather essential belongings." My daughter stepped closer to me, face trembling. "Dad, are you choosing them over me?" "No," I said. "I'm choosing myself." Her expression shattered, but not from heartbreak, from losing control. As they were escorted out, my daughter whispered, "You'll regret this." I looked her in the eye and said, "I regretted trusting you long before today." The door closed, and for the first time in years, silence, real silence. The house felt empty for weeks, but it was a good kind of empty. Quiet, peaceful, mine. I started rediscovering old hobbies. My guitar, my morning walks, my own thoughts. Then, slowly, something unexpected happened. My son, the only one who wasn't part of the scheme, texted me. "I saw the garden. The house looks good. I'm sorry, Dad. We're rebuilding now. Carefully, slowly, honestly." I planted a sunflower in the backyard as a reminder of everything I survived. On a stone beside it, I carved peace over pain. Because sometimes saving yourself is the biggest victory you'll ever win.